How are
All
you?
right, welcome to stage one.
Awesome.
As you know, you have 20 minutes with the jury this morning. We just ask that you keep the presentation to 10 minutes, and then we'll have 10 minutes for questions and answers.
Sure. I have a five minute one, so nice to short and
Good.
sweet.
All
Um,
right, yeah, well then I invite you to share your screen, see if we can get the slides up and running.
sure.
All right. We see your screen. So it's not full screen. We see it still with the tabs at the top.
Sure. Let's. How's that?
That looks great. Then from our side, we'll just start the recording,
This meeting is being recorded.
and the floor is all yours.
Sure. Cool. Thanks. Thanks for your time, everyone. Hi, I'm Lyndon. Every platform shift creates a new payments winner. The internet made PayPal, mobile made Square, the cloud made Stripe, and agents are the next shift. They can hold wallets, spend money, but there's no identity, no limits, and no logic around it. Quicksilver is this orchestration layer. Uh, is that did that render? Is this page rendering? Can you see this, or is it white?
It's white.
It's yeah, white. We see a white screen.
Oh, this is cool. Um, every payment system is built for humans. Remove the human, nothing works. 30 cents per transaction kills micropayments. Um, days, uh, settlement takes days in a millisecond world. Banks still move money with FTP and forms. Agentic forward banks are still filling with forms, but just faster. That's not innovation. That's an opening. Oh, sorry. 140 million agent-to-agent transactions last quarter were made using standardized payment protocols. No intelligence on top of it, no identity, no limits, no logic. That's $2 billion today and $500 billion by 2030. And this is growing exponentially. Every new agent is both a buyer and seller. Quicksilver is going to be the financial nervous system for this AI. Quicksilver will make money as smart as the agents using them. Identity for machines, it's no longer know your customer, it's about knowing your agent. Payments that stream like compute streams, budgets that enforce themselves top down, and intelligence routing, negotiation, firewalls, all automatic. Not a payment gateway, a financial operating system, and this is a pathway for insurance and loans for agents. Currently, we have our first customer signed, a YC company with over $1 million in committed volume. The engine is built, and through eWall, we have direct access to over 100 startups. That's $1 million pipeline today and $1 billion pipeline tomorrow. About the team, I started my first company when I was 16 and grew it to 1 million users. After that, I built a financial reconciliation project handling over $60 billion. My co-founder, Freddie, is currently running procurement and AI at Summits. So payments is in our DNA. Our advisors include SumUp's co-founder, the CEO of eWar, and the CEO of Notion Origin Systems. And we are a part of the eWar portfolio companies. In the competitor landscape, there is Stripe, Coinbase, and Superfluid, but we're not competing against them. We're actually enhancing them. Stripe moves money, we make it intelligent. Coinbase has 402, we add the identity and logic. Everyone else is pushing white papers and we're building. In a few lines of code, you can have smart money. Nobody is building the credit bureau for AI. Nobody is building underwriting agents' behavior. Nobody is offering lending and insurance to machines and AI yet. That's where we're headed, but first we're building the orchestration layer, credit scoring, and trust infrastructure that makes this all possible. and that's the opportunity. What the 10,000 francs will unlock, we currently already have put $250,000 of our own money towards this. This $10,000 francs will help us create our engine, build public products, and launch a beta website onboarding and do security audits, and also launch partners and actually go and see partners and implement our product in their systems. Yeah, thanks for listening, and that's the presentation.
All right, thank you very much, Lyndon. Happy to open the floor. I see Claudio has a question.
Hi, Lyndon. Thanks for the slides. I actually have two questions. One is on the product and one is on the use of funds. Use of funds, where is you mentioned with the 10K what you would use it for. What are you using the 250K for? The second question is on the product. I'm fairly familiar with agentic AI payments space based on my work. I did not grasp exactly what you are building. So if you could elaborate on that, that would be helpful, I think, for everyone. Thanks.
Sure, cool. So what we're building is actually, part of it is streaming payments. And currently we have Stripe and a few other payment systems. They only do acquiring and transfers, and you have Stripe Connect. At the moment, agents are trying to use USDC, but we believe that this is not going to be good enough, and you actually need to have streams of payments and also delegation accounts. So we want to build first the primitives here. So we want to take Stripe and all of these other vendors and create payment systems that will allow us to make atomics. So actually rebuild these finances in such a way that we have engineering principles to them. So it's no longer just USD there. We're going to have actual token, like we're actually going to have the currencies in an engineering system from programmatic build up. So we'll be able to actually let users go through ledgers and transactions in this way, similar to like blockchains and stuff like that. But we also want to build intelligence around this, so you can actually verify and use and trust a system, almost like an escrow arbitration between agents. And we want to be able to enable communications between these agents and token streams. So when I say tokens, I'm not actually meaning tokens. I mean actual, like between LLMs, you actually have these words and bytes. And we want to be able to enable this in a stream rather than just a transaction. We also want to create, like there's polling and then there's streams in programming. And currently, all of the payment systems are polled based. So a stream is actually where you'll actually open up a communication pipeline between the two, and you can send money through this. And that's what we want to start building as well. And then we want to be able to offer loans and all of this off the back of that, because at some point you'll have to have agents that will be able to loan each other money. We also created a system to use credit cards, and we demoed this last year, where we were able to use agents to go off and buy my co-founder his birthday present without me interacting with this. And this was in a full agentic way. So this is like what we're going to be doing. So it's ground up. We're going to build the atomics and then intelligence layer on top of this. So that's what we're doing. And for the use of the funds, so currently I'm using the funds as just to build and support myself, and to actually go to partners and see other startups. So last year I went to San Francisco and funded this, and I went to all of the different startups there and I was talking to them all. Some of them didn't understand it, and then there were some that did, with agentic payments. So, the A2A protocol, and they trying to use this. There's also Stripe is entering into the payment space for agents, but they haven't understood that there needs to be streams and loans and this interoperability between agents. This will come, and we want to be the one that service this. So that's where we're using the funds to actually go and talk to people, find out what they want, because this space kind of doesn't really exist. It's only ramping up at the moment, where you actually have agent-to-agent commerce. At the moment, we are starting to see human-to-agent commerce, where you type into ChatGPT, I want to buy like some skincare products, and it will lift this all up. But we're about to see a completely new economy being created, where you have agents building out other things. So at the moment, there is OpenClaw, which has just come out, and they created a system where like AI actually started to create a website where you could rent human time. And this is like a super interesting space. And we're estimating that, we vision that we'll have complete agent-to-agent purchasing, and these products, we don't fully know what they will be, but there will be loans and there will be insurance, and there will also be swaps for code and IP and things like this. So this is kind of like what we need to build out this system for, so that you can do it. Because at the moment, if you're an agent, you just use USDC or you try to use somebody's Stripe account, but you can't sovereignly go off and create your own accounts and do this.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, we have a question from Leonardo.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. As you might be aware, payments infrastructure scales and become venture scale only if it compounds. So I was wondering what kind of strategy in terms of data or network effect would you make in terms of making the platform stronger over time and hard to be displaced by big players?
So the defense, is that what you're asking? Sorry. Defensibility.
Defensive strategy to grow.
Defensive strategy to grow. So they if you look at the landscape, there is actually a lot of players. It's not just Stripe. There's Stripe, Coinbase, Square, all of these different players. What I have seen is that these players come in, they build their products, and then they get comfortable in what they're offering. What I want to do is I want to actually keep customers in this loop and make sure that developer cycles don't actually go over and become bloated. So if you actually use Stripe or anything like this, it's actually, they were originally very easy to use and create your own payments with this. But now if you look at it, you need to do customer setup. Then you need to put your product there and you have to do all this. What we want to do is we want to offer a very succinct API and these atomics that will always be there. And we don't want to change these so that customers can use them always. But in terms of defensibility, there's a few things that we want to do. There isn't at the moment like a full streaming payment service that is between agents, and we want to service that. And once you get that, it's going to be sticky. Like it will be a marketplace that will be set up, and it's very hard to disrupt a marketplace, but it is also very hard to set them up. And we have some of the advisors through eWar, such as Fabricio, who can help us do this, and he's a unicorn founder who's created several marketplaces. So it's a very unique position to be in, where there's a complete new economy about to be created. So it's not going to be exact first movers to do it, but if you get established and you're in with the startups that are building agents, and we form very good relations with these startups, such as Human Layer and Gully, which is about to do a few $1 million in transactions. So these are the sort of things that we want to set up, and these are the people that are also building agentic tooling, and that's going to be implemented in everybody else's startup. So we want to focus on that, and that's it. So essentially, to wrap it up, it's a completely new economy, marketplace, and we want to be the ones that capture that and be the sticky ones there.
All right, thank you. Next up, a question from Iris.
Yes, thank you, Lyndon. Super interesting. Sounds like a very visionary idea. So, if I'm understanding it correctly, Quicksilver is really meant to be the financial nervous system for AI agents. So, it sounds a bit like an orchestration layer, how you explain it.
Correct.
I would be curious to get your take on what you think is going to be the exact customer profile, because as you said, it might be difficult to even predict like what the agents are going to be doing, what's their motivation to buy, and it's kind of hard to look into their brains and to predict how it will develop in the coming years. So if you have a take on what you think is the exact customer profile and their sort of motivation to buy, I would be really curious to hear that.
Sure. So thank you for your question. Actually, yes, this is what we want to be, the financial nervous system for AI. And currently, the ICP right now is actually agentic startups. So we are going to companies like Human Layer, Gully, which is also another friend, and we want to start implementing on that, and then also pushing to agents to agents. So this is like OpenClaw, and we can form relations with the creator of OpenClaw and this to get it in. But in order to actually work out the ICP of what in the future is to actually run simulations on what that would be. So if you have seen recently, there's been few cases where people actually are running AI agent simulations, and it creates very, very interesting and new systems here. So there's like, for example, Polymarket, people are using agents to trade on Polymarket and actually doing very well, which is incredible. And they're just simulating within themselves. Then there was also a cryptocurrency that was created that was invested in by Andreessen Horowitz, where essentially a guy created an agent that just in an echo chamber talked to itself. In this echo chamber, it came up with several different things that were completely new, and also went into some dark territory, I guess. But from that, it published its information and like its thoughts on Twitter, and raised quite a lot of money. And I think they became a cryptocurrency in itself. So this is what we want to do. We want to first ICP with startups, so Human Layer and different AI incubators within YC and EWA, which is kind of nice. We get to sit in both worlds. We get to sit in like the European market and the US market, because agents don't live in countries that they live in, the internet. So we kind of need to be borderless from that sense. And we want to create that. So it's human first problems first, and then you need to launch into agentic problems. Like AI will have a completely new set of problems that we humans don't fully understand, such as there's one which I witnessed within doing the $60 billion of reconciliation, is that it's an insurance company, but they are not meant to issue debt. But when they move so much money, they actually create temporal debt, and they actually create money out of air with this and taking interest on it, which is kind of incredible. You shouldn't really be able to do that. And on scale with agents, when they're moving money, there will be actually a void of transaction or ability to fill that, essentially like a loan that would need to be serviced and required. And these are sort of like microloans or spot loans. And that's just one example of like, I've not seen anybody thinking about this, and we want to service that. And in order to do that, you need to have trust, and we need to trust the agents. So we need to create a trust metrics, and then also again simulations on this. So we have to run agents in loops. We currently have a partnership with Nebulous to get GPUs to run agents such as Kimi2K, and we just want to run this into an echo chamber and see different things, and we'll get two products from that. We'll get the ability to work out how agents negotiate and create essentially a digital brain for this to see the step processes for this. We can use that for several things. One, to use that in negotiations between humans and AI, and then also there will be just a thought chain for AI and seeing what they come up with problem sets. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. There's a lot there. There's orchestration and cost orchestration there as well. So there's quite a bit to talk about, but to respect time. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right. All right. We still have two questions, but time is running. So just we ask if you can keep your answers short and sharp for the last two. Evgeny, go for it.
Yeah, my question is quite quick. What's your difference from Lobster Cash, which was launched recently? Because it's offering just the same as you are mentioning, like it's partnering with Visa, Intelligent Commerce, with Solana, with Circle, with Syscoth. So it's just doing just the same, but already with top partners. I
Is
mean,
that
what's your unfair advantage then?
was that Monster Cash or is it Cross Mint?
No. This is Lobster Cash.
Oh,
This is
Lobster
open
Cash.
claw, open claw payment
Yes.
layer, which
Yes.
is just what this is exactly what you have just described, but already done.
Yes. So Lobster Cash is super interesting, and they're also, I guess, talking to the creator of OpenClaw. I will need to have a look deeper into those because I'm pretty sure they came out like last week for this because it's a very dynamic place, but they don't have payment streams. I don't think they have payment streams, and again, we could actually probably come and find these customers within there and offer the product. I do actually believe agents will choose the best product themselves. So they currently are building their own API systems, and if I'm totally honest, this space is wild west. You know, best player wins, and I think it won't just be from like Visa partnerships or MasterCard. It's going to be who actually has the best governance from like an agentic way, because if the system is not flexible enough, then it doesn't keep up to the needs of the agents. But also, if it's too flexible, then you end up with just scope creep, and it becomes too much. So yes, I'm aware of Lobster Cash. They're a very interesting product, and it's good because it also validates the market, I guess. For us, what I'm thinking is for us to come a 1 million revenue, 1 million AAR, is we only need to get like 10 startups that are doing 3.5 mil, and we charge 2.9% or 3% minus transaction costs, fixed transaction costs, and then we can get to a million AAR pretty quickly. And I want to invest that into building the actual human relationships. So like with Human Layer and a few of these companies, and they will grow to $1 billion companies. I already tried to write them a check in a way because I know where they're heading, and it's very aligned. Even one of the companies within eWar, Dealflow, they just signed 40 million valuation, and they are doing agent to agent development and enterprise. And if we have relations with them, we can also get in and service this, because they will need governance costs. Because at one point, what will happen is, and I've seen this before in consulting, where organization structures become so big that everybody wants change, everybody wants these things, and they treat development as an infinite resource. So what you can do is create an internal governance, which has costs, so money and internal money, and then you give that allocation out and it stops bloat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop you there. It's because we do have one more question.
Okay.
Unfortunately, time is running. Please just a short and sharp answer for this one.
Okay.
Joe, and you can go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Lyndon. Super cool stuff, I must say. I think you already partly answered my question just now. I really love this toolbox of functions that become standards in the payment system. My question is much more on defensibility. Stripe could build this in a few months, no? Is there any defense you have, like developer login or some tech specifics, or how do you fight these guys? And this Lobster Cash, of course, is beautiful.
Yes. Okay, so in this sense, we already had gone out to find LOIs and lock-ins for this, so just contract base. like there's total also we're potentially I had conversations with PayPal and a few of these other venture arms is to actually get investment from them and align them in this way. There's only a few steps. One of my personal advisors or mentors is actually one of the first employees at Stripe, and so I talk to them about things and develop this way. So I don't actually see it as a bad thing. I can actually see that there's synergy there between this. So if we actually build it out and get this million revenue, they should be able to see it. I should have conversations with them, and I wouldn't be too surprised to be pulled on. And I have been warned by some people that yes, Stripe can just build this out. They have a team of infinite developers. That's true.
Sure.
But they do also like acquire these sort of companies. So there's like Lemon Fresh, I think it was. There's like a tax reporting. They also tried to acquire Air Wallet X. So I don't see it as a bad position to be in. I think actually it's a space.
Yeah,
where
Lyndon, I'm gonna have to stop you there. I'm sorry. I know
see.
we could talk about this
Yep.
much longer, but we do have a time limit, and
I'm
that's
happy
all
with
we
the
have.
answer, Nicolas.
Yes.
It's
That-
the right way to go forward, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all we have time for. Thank you so much, Lyndon. As for the next steps, we're going to put you back into the waiting room, but we ask that you don't disconnect right away because we might bring you back in to answer a question. Otherwise, you'll get a message in the chat when you're free to leave.
Sure, awesome. And if I disconnect for any reason, you can shoot me a message at Lyndon@Lambda Run, and I'll answer them. Thanks for your time.
Excellent.
Guys.
The
Thank you very
recording
much.
has stopped.
Have a great day.
You too. How do I leave? Yeah.